All right, here we are again. I've got a Taurus 856 3-inch stainless. I have been successfully influenced. I have to say I've seen a lot of people that I know and respect in sort of the shooting community, kind of getting these guns and trying them out, and I have a pretty weird eclectic experience with 38 special revolvers. It's I kind of go in and out of love with them. I don't like 357 Magnum all that much, unless it's like in a bigger frame gun. But for smaller concealed carry type guns, which this certainly falls into that category. It's 38 is kind of it for me. But I saw a lot of these. I've kind of been interested in these for a couple of years now. I've seen a lot of reviews on YouTube and stuff, but Taurus is just one of those brands that you don't really, for me, I kind of discount them for any serious reason, for serious purpose. So, but they came out with the executive grade, I guess, last year. 856 executive grade, I think is what it's called, and that thing, that looked like a nice little gun, and the idea that somebody actually goes through them and does things like, I guess, does a trigger job or something on them. The idea that somebody actually goes through them at the factory, it's kind of like an added bit of QC, I guess. And sorry, my table's dirty. It's all good. I've just been working on it. But the idea that somebody at the factory has been kind of giving it a little more attention before they go out the door, that makes me feel a little bit better. But I haven't found one around, and I would really prefer to find one locally to get it. But this was at a shop and brand new, and for not very much, three Benjis and some change, and not a whole lot of money. But I picked it up, and I obviously didn't have these grips on it, but I had the standard rubber grips that it comes with, and the Ameriglow night sight. Let me see if I can. There we go. The Ameriglow front night sight already installed, which is pretty cool. Which it comes with the regular ramp in the box too, and I figured I'd just leave that on because why not? If it shot weird, I was gonna be like, I'll change it, but it came new, and I checked all the action on it. I checked the cylinder. When you actually check the on each cylinder, or on each chamber, I should say, check the tightness of it. Trigger pull was really heavy, but that's kind of what I expected. Like I said, I got this really a couple weeks ago. I haven't shot it very much. I took it out and put like 100 rounds through it. I didn't have a whole lot of 38 ammo on hand. I had some pandemic crap that I picked up, which is this stuff from Precision One. There's that. And it's I wanted some wad cutters, because when I was shooting 38 a lot more, I was trying to find wad cutters. And during the pandemic, they just became impossible. Like Federal Gold Medal 38s, I couldn't find any of those. I had a couple boxes of Black Hills wad cutter ammo, and then just a smattering of 140 or 158 grain lead and jacketed ammo, or copper plated bullets. Just MagTech and some other brands. But I had a whole bunch of this that I found right at the beginning of the pandemic, and bought a couple of these things. And this is what I had left after I shot it the other day with this. I shot probably, I don't know, 50 rounds of this stuff. and a mix of 50 rounds of regular Black Hills wad cutters and some other lead round nose standard stuff. And you know what? I was really impressed. At 10 yards, this thing was like dead nuts, especially with this stuff. And this was like the best shooting ammo of the three types that I took, which was really incredible. So I'll probably have to buy more of this. Fortunately, they still make it and it's still in stock. But it's kind of a weird wad cutter because it's copper plated, which is kind of nice, but it's got a little bit more recoil than a regular wad cutter, but not too bad. And especially in an all steel gun like this, it's really quite all right. But man, this thing was, even with the other ammo types that I shot, regular wad cutters they were all dead on at 10 yards. And I didn't shoot further than that because it was early and kind of wet out. And I just wanted to shoot it, at 10 yards. I'm going to certainly shoot it further. But I was really happy with how this thing shot. I didn't have any issues with weird timing problems or nothing not going off. The first initial thoughts impressions were great. These grips, I'm sure somebody's going to ask. These are some J-frame grips that I kind of finagled. You can see they don't quite fit great there. But I had to, so the J-frame, generally, this 85, 856, whatever, Taurus, they do generally follow the same shape as the J-frame. But the hole right here and some of the other things don't line up, so I had to drill a hole in the base here for the little pin that goes through the frame that the gun comes with. And then I had, because it was still even tightened down with the screw, it was still shifting some, I had to put another pin up here, and then that stabilized it, and then I just wrapped some tape around it just for some, some apocalypse vibes. So it's got kind of that thing. I know everybody's doing the cool guy grip tape stuff, which this isn't even really grippy. It's like hockey grip tape, but it looks cool, so whatever. I just kind of got this just for fun, honestly. It's 38's kind of a fun caliber. And no, this is not loaded. It's got snap caps in it, if you couldn't tell. I couldn't find my 6th snap cap. So I work from home and I dry fire a lot, just kind of sitting here at the bench or sitting here at the work table. I'll keep this around and I have a target with a AR-500 backstop on it that I have on it, and I pointed at that just for safety, even though it's not loaded, obviously. But and I'll sit here and dry fire it. I dry fire. I have dry fired the crap out of this thing, just real fast, just trying to get it to break in and get the parts sort of smoothed out. I thought about taking it apart and trying to do some stuff and maybe do a spring kit from Galloway, but honestly, this thing, the trigger has already gotten a lot better just in the time that I have. It's still got some weight to it for sure, but it's a lot smoother, and maybe my fingers just kind of getting used to the trigger pull again. That heavy revolver double action trigger pull. Could be a combination of those things, but it's gotten, at least in my opinion, it's gotten noticeably better. I'm not going to change the springs out on it. I'm just going to leave it factory. I'm not going to dick with it as much as I already have. I've also got a little strip of tape under there because my revolver grip is weird, and this helps keeping me from slipping above the trigger guard there. I do that to all my guns though, so it's just personal preference. Other than that, it's pretty cool. Some of the details that I do like about the gun, the corners, the edges are actually really, for the most part, really nicely rounded off. They're not super sharp, as it were. I mean, there's a little sharpness there, but it's really not bad, and especially in the trigger guard, it's really not bad at all. With Beretta 92s, you get these really sharp edges around the trigger guard, especially. and on the frame. It's really weird that they don't like just break them a little bit. I picked up a freaking new Colt 1911 the other day at the shop that came in. And that thing felt like a box of razor blades. It was just awful. And that was, $900 1911. But for the most part, like, yeah, there's some sharp edges, like on the inner part of the ejector rod, or the barrel underlug. Not a big deal, not really messing with that. There's some sharp edges in here, which, again, for the price, I'm not worried about it. A little bit of sharpness there, but anywhere that it really matters. The only place that was sharp that I did kind of like take a little bit of a stone to was this frame area right here is really sharp. So I carefully just kind of stoned that off a little bit, and it's much more, it's fine now. So, just for handling, and also holster wear, because that'll scrape on Kydex or leather or whatever. But everything else really nicely, very smooth. Like it's really good. It's really good. This thing's a little loose, cylinder release, but they are on Smiths anyway, so who cares? It's not going anywhere. The screw, that was perfectly tight, didn't come loose. So people, I know that's been a big contentious thing with Taurus guns recently for some stupid reason. That screw was fine. So I don't know. Like, everything's fine. Like I said, shot really great. Triggers breaking in really nicely. I love the finish. I actually really do love the matte stainless finish. I think it looks a lot better than the Smith, the polished or brushed or whatever stainless. Not as big a fan. This looks pretty good to me. The other little details too about like the trigger. People may not really think about it, or I don't know, but like every J frame that I've ever had, or other even older Smiths, the back face of the trigger is razor sharp. And if you're like me and you kind of hook your finger in there, because that's, trying to pull this trigger with the pad of the trigger finger is a bitch. So I hook it in there, and, with a Smith, I get pinched real bad by that sharp trigger. So I always have to end up taking sandpaper and some stone or whatever and filing that off. This is like perfectly smooth. Like there's no sharpness anywhere on this trigger face. And that's exactly the way that it should be. And even on the hammer, no sharpness, nothing. So I'm really happy with just those little details that you can tell. That's something that would affect a shooter, and not so much in single action, which I don't shoot this gun in single action. I haven't, barely even tried it in single action. It's heavy. It's not really very useful for me. I just shoot double action pretty much exclusively. I wish this didn't even have a hammer spur, to be honest, but no biggie. But yeah, I'm really impressed with this specific gun so far. Again, I've not shot it very much, and I've only dry fired the bejesus out of it for a little while, so we'll see how it holds up. It may just fall apart on me at some point here soon, but so far I'm really, really enjoying it. Little size comparison, I guess. I'll do that real quick, get this ammo out of the way. Here's just a Gen 3 Glock 19, and so just kind of give you an idea, the size, similar length, I guess. These grips don't really help because they're a little bit taller, so you can kind of see normally the grip would end a little bit sooner. So, and like thickness and stuff, revolvers are thinner and thicker in certain areas, and they do lend themselves really well to carry, even more so than something like a Glock 19, which is very blocky. I'm not probably going to carry this gun. I did reshape one of my old holsters, an old Kydex holster that I wasn't really using. I reshaped it with a heat gun. So this is for a K-frame Smith, and it's not a great fit, but it's actually, it's not going anywhere. So, and it's, if I wanted to carry it, I could, I might carry it around the house or something, but not going to be an everyday, like, going out in the world gun. Like I said, I got this just because I wanted to get back into shooting more 38 special and not with a J frame, which is painful for me. My hands are just, airweight J frames are, they're great for just a little bit of shooting, and they're great for carrying. That's about it. This is all steel. It's heavy. It's loaded. It's about 4 ounces lighter than my fully loaded Glock 19. So, it's a little bit lighter, but you're losing a lot in terms of capability. But if I did have to carry this thing, I mean, honestly, at this point, I would be perfectly okay with it because it's got all the qualities I want in a good defensive pistol. The sights are like dead on at 10 yards. Again, I'm going to check that at 25 because it could be, they could be way off at 25. But at 10, like if you have a good, for revolvers especially, like I've had guns that have shot like left or right, and it's been like, what the hell, like how do I fix that? So with this, it's on and I'm happy with that. I'm not gonna mess with front sight. It's fine. Like, I will say that they could have done a little bit better on the rear trench of the sight, because it's really shallow, and if you're trying to use that tritium lamp, which is really low in the front sight, I don't know why they did that. It basically cuts off. Not that it really matters. Really, a tritium front sight only for me is like if I need to like find the gun in the dark. I can find the little glowing dot. I'm gonna have a flashlight if I'm shooting somebody in the dark, so I'll have a backlit illumination of the sights. The orange won't even matter at that point. So the tritium dot doesn't really matter. But I do wish this rear trench was a little bit deeper, a little bit taller, I guess. But that's with every revolver, really. It's not really these fixed sight revolvers. But anyway, so those are just some quick first impressions. We'll see how it goes. And I really like the gun so far. So, I still want a professional grade. I might get one eventually, but right now this is kind of scratching the itch. So, is what it is. But I hope you all like the video. I'm going to try and do more regularly scheduled videos, but just work stuff. I'm going to try and do some more drawing related videos too. I don't know if anybody would give a crap about that, but because that's my thing. I do draw stuff. So anyway, that is that, and I'll talk to you guys later.